I look at his food and I just think, just so beautiful and clean. Looks unlike anything else in the world. It's so complex.
It's got everything. It's got colour, it's got texture, it's got shape.
I've never seen someone dress as naturally. He is incredible. It's like muscle memory for Anthony when he's dressing. It's one of the best things he's ever said to me, and it's true, it does make you just fall back in love with the dish. There's so much love involved in not only the cooking of it, but the way it's all put together. I suppose that's why I've worked in these places, because I've been drawn to people that cook really well and dress so clean and beautifully. I don't know why I've done it, I just love Greggs. I love it.
How long ago did you sort of see that change happen to more simple presentation of food?
Sort of the places I've worked as well, there's sort of incredible cooking and sort of no-nonsense treating of food. So, I mean, I've not spent a lot of time working in places where things are fussed over and things. So it's been quite natural for me that everything's always sort of, I suppose that's why I've worked in these places, because I've been drawn to people that cook really well and dress so clean and beautifully. I've never really sort of seen a change apart from when I left my first job, which like I said, it was sort of like it was stuck in the early 90s. And then when I moved to Glasgow, that's when sort of opened my eyes to a more modern approach to cooking and dressing.
Okay. Have you seen these styles that even if you weren't party to, but you just think you're sick to death of seeing? Any sort of plating technique that you think has just been overdone, again, possibly because of social media or anything like? I know the old Salt Bay salt thing isn't exactly a plating style, but people got sick to death of that pretty fast. Can you think of anything similar that you've seen that was very much in vogue and now is just, people aren't doing so much?
Swipes of puree, that's something that was huge when I first sort of moved to Glasgow and then London. Swipes of purees, they were everywhere, and there was all the different kinds you could do and everything, and even like hitting it with a spoon, so
you get the splatter.
But you rarely see that now. Okay, rarely see that now. But that used to be massive.
Yeah, so you won't see that, I guess, in the higher end places, but you might still see it as that are possibly just not thinking about their plates so much. It's just something they've always done. They keep doing.
That's it. Yeah, people are still doing it because that's what they like. That's their style, and that's everyone's got a different style.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely don't see it as much.
Who inspires you then in terms of plate design and stuff? Let's assume that food tastes good.
Yeah.
That's a given. Who's really pushing the buttons of what you like visually?
I mean, Anthony Demetre, I've never seen someone dress as naturally as he is. He is incredible. Even when you're in the kitchen with him, watching him dress food, it's amazing.
Yep.
He's just so natural. He makes it look effortless, and his food is always so beautifully presented, so clean. And it was always a struggle if you were working with Anthony to dress to his standard, and it was.
What is that standard then? Is it accuracy? Is it creativity? Is it all of the above? I mean, as somebody who's never worked in a kitchen, what is it that impresses you about what he did?
The way Anthony would dress is it was so precise, and he would know where things are going in the plate. But if you tried to recreate it, it looked so contrived, like he thought about it. But whereas Anthony can do it, and it's like it's just sort of been placed.
Yep.
And it always looks so natural and beautiful. So he's incredible the way he dresses food. And I used to work with a boy called Paddy Powell.
Yep.
He was the sous chef for Anthony when I worked at Wild Honey. And the way he dresses food is incredible as well. He's just so crisp and clean.
Yep. So he's heavily influenced, I guess, by Anthony as well, then, is he?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. But Pat's sort of found his own sort of style, and it's very again, it's just so natural and clean. It looks beautiful.
I'm going to cut in here for just a second to say if you're finding value in this content in finding a fresh perspective on food visuals, then I've got a small favour to ask. Why not give this video a like? It's a simple way to show that you're enjoying this food journey with me. And even better, if you've got a few minutes, then a comment would be much appreciated. Perhaps you've got something interesting to say about the visual side of food, a brilliant plating technique, or maybe even mention a chef who you think is a master of plate design. And if you don't want to miss any other videos in our podcast series with chefs, then please hit that subscribe button. Your support will help me to continue to bring the world of food aesthetics to YouTube, and hopefully to create more content that you'll like. Remember, every like, comment and subscribe will help this channel to grow, and it will hopefully enable me to bring even more content that you'll like. So thank you so much for being part of this culinary community. Well, I took after you mentioned them to me on WhatsApp, I took a few of their pictures on the internet just to see. So these first four are Paddy's ones.
Yeah.
This dish I thought was absolutely stunning. For my eye, visually, it's got everything. It's got colour, it's got texture, it's got shape. You know, it's got the lovely part of the fish and stuff. What do you see in this? Do you reverse engineer how? Do you first go to how he's done it, or can you look at it just as a piece of art? Because when I look at photography, my immediate thing is to reverse engineer possibly how they've done it, and then I see how beautiful it is.
No, I look at that and I just think that it's stunning. It just looks good. I don't think about how he's done it, because sort of knowing Patrick and having worked with him, you can see it just comes naturally to him. That he's so talented. He's so talented. And I look at his food and I just think, just so beautiful and clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Really, because again, there'll be photographers. We've got a few in here. There'll be photographers rather, that have exactly that same impact on me. You know, it's just something that speaks to you on a different level, doesn't it? Not necessarily a technical level, but just more an emotional level. And I think you know, when you find artists like that, chefs, photographers, you know, it's inspiring, isn't it? Really, to try and emulate that. Although you realise how much hard work it is. I mean, that's a stunning dish.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and it's three things on the plate: asparagus, mushrooms, and sauce. But it's stunning. It's stunning. The way he dresses is just
and the precision of it, I imagine, is, you know, because again, I've worked on shoots when, you know, you're having arguments about where to put a piece of parsley or something like that. I mean, you can get into the weeds about it, and then, as you said earlier, it looks contrived.
Yeah,
it really. So just to have that eye for composition, balance, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's immense.
Yeah,
it's immense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we got a few of his. Thought that was pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just 2-3 things on a plate, but just done so well.
Yeah,
so well.
Yeah, and executed, I imagine, brilliantly as well. I mean, look at that. That's just crazy, isn't it? Really.
Well, he's just got away with making things look beautiful with the colours he uses and the way he dresses, and it's just so clean.
And then I think the next two were Anthony's.
Yeah, no, that sort of that sums that in the uphill. It's just everything's on there. It looks natural, but it's like muscle memory for Anthony when he's dressing, and he uses a lot of space. He uses a lot of the plate.
Okay,
but everything just looks so natural, and he's just, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it.
Did you see his process? Does he maybe sketch things out, or do you think that's kind of natural and it's an evolution of, I know that I'm going to start with the fish or the sauce or whatever. He knows his colours.
I genuinely just think he can do it. He can just do it. Throw like sort of 4 or 5 random things at him that he doesn't know what's coming, and he'll put it on a plate and he'll make it look amazing.
It's a real art, isn't it? You know, but it's one of those things that I guess you don't get lucky at these things. It's doing it for years and years and years, but also clearly being very talented as well. Yeah, you know, because you don't get any of these things for free, do you? Really, you can't. You're not just naturally gifted at plating food. You just work at it a lot, and then you get good.
I was lucky enough to work with Anthony when he is top of his game, but you know, I'd never seen him learning.
Yep.
So I have no idea the sort of the work and effort he put into it when he was younger, learning his craft. Yeah. I just see him as this guy.
It's like the top footballers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just looks like they've done it like that their entire life, and they don't have to work hard. Yeah. And it's not true, is it?
Not unless they play for Rangers. I've seen some horror performances there.
And then I just think the last one as well, I particularly like that one.
Yeah, this was a dish that...
Oh, you know this?
Yeah.
So what is it? I couldn't even work out what it was.
So it's confit chicken wing. Anthony confits chicken wings, then debones them and he presses them, and then you crisp them up. And I'm pretty sure that's his cacio e pepe pasta. So it's boneless chicken wings and cheese and pepper pasta. Yeah. But yeah, I remember doing these pastas.
Really?
Oh yeah, you'd be in the weeds at lunch. At lunch at Weltani, it was a massive lunch trade Monday to Friday, and we used to do a sort of de jour menu. And you do 80 covers, 70 off them with this de jour menu, and you do your 80 covers in an hour and a half.
Oh my!
So you were busting it out, but Anthony watched everything, nothing left unless it was absolutely perfect. So yeah, I've sweated.
You know that instantly. It, again, just with colours wise, and also things like fried chicken tend to be a very hard thing to make look. Clearly tastes amazing. Yeah, can be a hard thing to style and look appetizing. Whereas that straight away, the way he's plated that
again, so crisp and clean, and just there's so much love involved in not only the cooking of it, but the way it's all put together as a final product on the plate. So much love involved in it.
That's a particularly nice dish as well, I have to say. You know, would you spend a lot of time and effort sourcing those kinds?
Yeah, I think so. I say I was never sort of part of that process with them. It was, you'd get these beautiful plates and
What about here then? I guess have a budget for these things, and you can choose foundation is for your dish.
Yeah.
Do you go fairly standard, you know, white off white, that kind of stuff, or do you have anything that is a little riskier?
No, we're a bistro and a pub. So we sort of just try and stick to the white plates, nothing too fancy. You know, good quality plate. They've got a little bit of detail into them, but then still we try and stick to sort of white plain plates and let the food sort of do the talking.
So are there any other chefs out there that you think are, you know, pushing it, like the ones that are really out there?
Just up the road at the Hand and Flowers, Tom and Tomo's food looks incredible, and Sarah at the Coach, so beautiful. So these are the places I sort of like and love the look of the food.
Yeah.
But you get guys like Daniel Humm at 11 Madison Park. His food's very intricate and complex. Looks unlike anything else in the world. It's so complex and well put together.
What other sort of things inspire you then? Or are you kind of comfortable in where you are and you don't feel the need to sort of push that too much? Purely visually here, we're not talking about the cooking side.
I'm fairly confident in sort of what I like to dress and to see. I can appreciate obviously everyone's style and everyone's different, but I sort of know what we do here and what suits us and how we like to dress food. I don't sort of draw inspiration from anywhere. We just sort of do what we like and we feel natural. But I appreciate the way everyone dresses food.
I think it's a really interesting point, because again, the other chefs I've talked to doing this podcast, confidence does play such a large part in plating specifically, I'm sure, because so many chefs have said, you know, less is becoming more. It must be very easy to fall into the trap of trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So having that confidence of 16 years and longer with some of the chefs I've talked to that, you know, this is enough, this looks great, I'm confident with it, there you go, I'm not necessarily going to compete.
Yeah, I mean, we just like to have things look clean and sharp. And sort of to have nowhere to hide really with it.
That's brave. Yeah, I love that. I mean, what is on toast? That must have been.
Yeah, that's it.
That really is.
We're like, another dish we do is barbecued pork chop, cream cheese that we season up, a bit of spiced andouille, and then a homemade coleslaw, and that's it. It's so simple. It's three things on a plate, but I just think it looks good. And
those three things, by the way, did sound amazing. Good choices.
A lot of people look at me and think, cream cheese and the pork chop. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah.
Going back to your staff and your team then, because your plating style by your own is simple and clean, is it a relatively easy thing to then communicate to them what you want to do? When you were learning with Anthony and stuff, it was hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Is that kind of a benefit to your style then, I guess, is that it is easier to pass on?
It is simple. The food we do is simple, but in doing that, there's nowhere to hide. So if everything's not
so that actually is even more important.
You got to know exactly where things go and keep things tight. And so although the food we do is simple, it can look quite different depending on who's dressing it.
Okay.
It's just a case of trying to bring it all together.
Yeah.
I like to get everyone from the top to the bottom in the kitchen dressing the food.
Yep.
Because that's how you learn.
Yeah,
as it is or where it goes.
Yeah, still pressure.
Yeah. So, I mean, simple food can look really beautiful and amazing and crisp and clean.
Yeah.
Or it can look really bad if it's not executed properly.
Yeah.
But even with the simple things, it can go horribly wrong sometimes.
Oh, I can believe it. Again, in photography, the simple things can you get found out pretty easily, don't you? If you can't do the simple things, then you absolutely get found out.
Yeah, it's a nightmare when it goes wrong at 80 cover Saturday night dinner service. That's when you don't want it to go wrong.
I can imagine. What kind of common mistakes do you see out there? Would it be things like just being sloppy? Would it be things like overcomplicating things? What do you see out there when you go out to eat?
Well, again, it's a difficult one, because what's an error for me is right for someone else.
Yep.
You know, it's like I said, it's so subjective, and I appreciate and understand that everyone in the industry has their own style. That's what makes the industry so special.
Yep.
Things that sort of I see that I wouldn't do is things that are just maybe difficult to eat, like overcomplicated. And too much on a plate, basically.
Yeah.
Too much on a plate, just like
As in, they just chuck so much stuff on it to see what fits.
Yeah.
Keep sticks, right?
sort of thing, and can sometimes look clumsy. But like I said, it's clumsy for me, but someone else's art. So
Yeah.
I'll never say anything negative about the way someone goes about their craft.
Well, I think that's fair enough. I think that's fair enough. I mean, are there any dishes that you've kind of re-engineered in terms of, you know, when you plated something and you've had it on the menu for like, I don't know, a week or so, and then you suddenly think, I really don't like this night, and you'll do it again?
Yeah, so Chef Bryn used to say to me, when you've had a dish on for a while, he says you need to fall back in love with it. So Chef Bryn would have a dish on, and then he'll tweak just a littlest thing on it, and the bones of the dish are still exactly the same, but he's just tweaked one little thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but is that in terms of how the dish is made, or just more to how the dish is then presented? Oh, okay.
Presented.
The ingredients will all be the same, but you'll just kind of completely reinvent how it's put on.
Yeah, and Chef Brown would always say, it just makes you fall back in love with it. And he's so right.
Yeah,
he's so right. You know, in this industry, when you're cooking the same things every day and dressing them every day, and things can get a bit stale. So if you just make one little tweak, and it's one of the best things he's ever said to me, and it's true. It does make you just fall back in love with the dish.
That's fascinating. I can completely understand that, because yes, when you do things professionally and you do it by rote and you've got to a standard of it doing it incredibly well, to then sort of break that back down again and almost start afresh.
Yeah,
that's rather refreshing, I would imagine.
I mean, and it can be the littlest of things as well, just putting herbs through a sauce, or moving one thing from one side of the plate to the other, and carving something a different way.
Yeah,
it can be the smallest of changes, but it does really sort of, it reignites your passion for the dish.
Because I imagine when you have dishes that people are expecting to be on your menu, and again, yes, you've had it on there for a while, to have that creative input again is quite good.
Yeah, it's nice.
My last question for you, Scott, during I came across an interesting fact about you, and I just wanted to ask you about it. It was from the caterer. You know what's coming.
It's Greggs, isn't it?
It is Greggs. You were asked about this, and it was, I once ate 36 Greggs Pasties in 24 hours. Yeah. Explain.
I love Greggs. It's my favourite restaurant.
We all love Greggs.
And again, it's the simplicity of their food. Yeah. It's one thing, and you eat it, and you're like, it's
36?
Yeah, 36. So my missus was going away. She was actually going to walk part of the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
And so I had an empty house, and I thought I'd make the most of it. So the second she left, wasn't even out the driveway yet in the taxi, down to Greggs, got my pastries, back up a road, sat on the sofa, and got my jammies on, got
and that was it.
The duvet down. Yeah, I just didn't move.
Was it all the same pasty?
No, it was a selection. It was just like, they were all savoury, no sweet ones, but just
glad to hear it.
Yeah, it was brilliant day.
It felt like a good day.
It was. I don't know why I done it. I just love Greggs. I love it.
I'm impressed. 36. That is amazing. Brilliant, Scott. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been really interesting talking to you.
Pleasure.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much for joining me on this culinary adventure with Chef Scott Smith. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed the art of creating something beautiful and tasty on the plate. Scott's a fantastic chef and has learned from some of the best, including Bryn Williams, Anthony Demetre and Tom Kitchen. He kindly shared some of his secrets, including the 36 Greggs Pasties in 24 hours, which was my personal favourite, and some skills for making visually stunning dishes. Hopefully now you've got some new techniques and knowledge to help with your own beautiful food presentations. Remember, it's not just all about flavour, it's about making memorable dining experiences that delights both the eyes and the palates. So please don't forget to subscribe to the Food Envy podcast and watch out for some more exciting episodes featuring top chefs, culinary ideas and expert advice to bring out your inner food stylist. So come on, grab that fork and get involved.